I guess I have to do 2 videos. Anyhow, I guess I'll put a link to both of them. So, probable cause, you got to have very good evidence in those things to do a search and that stuff. Schools do not have to have probable cause to search your person, locker, personal belongings, etc. That's important to know, that they just have to have what's called reasonable suspicion. So, why is reasonable suspicion different than probable cause? Reasonable suspicion would be something as simple as somebody saying that, okay, that Cage has such and such stuff in his locker. Okay, somebody could go to the office and say that. That gives the school officials enough reasonable suspicion to search Cage and or his belongings, his person, whatever it might be. Okay, so that's important to know, that in a school it's a little bit different. They have to worry about the safety of you, the safety of staff, the safety of other students and everybody in this building, so they don't have to have necessarily probable cause. So make sure that you understand that, you know that when you go say, "You're violating my rights." Okay, yeah, no, they're not. Okay, so just so you know that. Okay, Fifth Amendment. There's a lot of stuff in here. 5 things actually. You have double jeopardy. Okay, pretty simple. You can't be tried twice for the same crime. You have the protection against self-incrimination, which was on your study guide. Okay, that you don't have to testify against yourself or say something that might incriminate you, get you in trouble. You must have due process of law before you are convicted. Okay, everybody should know what due process is. Now, if you don't remember, due process is pretty simple. It's all of those steps upon your arrest. That you're arrested, you read your Miranda rights, you're told the charge is being brought against you, you go before a judge, you have a right to a lawyer. It's all those steps in between if somebody gets in trouble, which is hopefully not you. The other thing is the right of eminent domain. That's the government can take private land for public use. Pretty simple to understand that here in Galesburg with all the underpasses, overpasses for the railroad, so that we don't have to wait for trains all the time, which kind of stinks. So, but now it's much easier, and the government, the city, took pieces of those land, but it had to give people fair market value money for their property and home. Well, we don't want to go there yet. We missed one. Okay. Oh, the other part of the Fifth Amendment, don't forget that you have a right to appear before a grand jury. A grand jury doesn't mean you're in big, gigantic trouble. It just means that the state has to prove they have enough evidence to bring you to trial. It's called an indictment hearing. That's all it is. Okay. The state has the burden of proof of proving that they have enough evidence to bring you to trial. All right. Number 6. We're speeding along so we can get this all in. So, the Sixth Amendment also has 5 different things in it. You have the right to a speedy public trial of an impartial jury of your peers. Okay, Mr. Hillier, what does that mean? Well, that means for you in 3rd block today, that means that you should be tried by people that are like you, that live in the same area as you, and that your trial happens where it was, where you live. Okay, it doesn't make sense to have it somewhere else and people that don't know the community. The Sixth Amendment, also you have a right to a lawyer. That's a big one, as we found out with Gideon. You have a right to know the charges being brought against you, okay? And you have a right to confront any witnesses that may testify against you, and you have the right to call witnesses in your favor. So that is all of number 6. All right, so there's those. And a lawyer, if you can afford one, we talked about that with Gideon. The Seventh Amendment is kind of a weird one. Civil trials where somebody is getting sued, that you have a right to a trial by jury. So 12 people, not just one judge. Okay. And this explains what a civil case is. The plaintiff, which would be the person who is bringing the lawsuit, whoever is suing someone else. The defendant would be them. To win, the plaintiff must prove his or her case by a preponderance of the evidence, that is by over 50% of the proof. Okay, so in civil court, people tend not to have juries as much as they do judges, but you do have a right to do that. But realize all these things cost money, so need to make sure it's worth it. 8th Amendment, no excessive bail, no cruel and unusual punishment. Okay, so you third block people who sometimes get on my nerves, okay, you know who I'm talking about, some of you. I see you back there in the back. I see it. Yeah, Brian, I got it. I got it. It's okay. Just keep on keeping on, brother. Oh, man, it's just like he's here. So, no excessive bail. So, bail is the amount of money you pay to get out of jail. That is 10% of what the possible fine would be. When you post bail, you are also agreeing to show up for your court date. Show up for your court date, you forfeit your bail money and all of those things, and some friend is probably going to be really ticked off at you because it's probably their money that bailed you out. Okay, and no cruel and unusual punishment. So, if you steal a pack of gum, they can't chop off your fingers, things like that. You kind of know what that is. The 9th Amendment are rights not listed in the Constitution. We call these your unwritten rights. Okay, they couldn't possibly list every single right that you have in the Constitution, so they put the 9th Amendment in there so it would cover every single right that they can think of, and still those rights are reserved for the people. And then the 10th Amendment, last one, powers not delegated to the national government are reserved to the states. So as we talked about with reserved powers, if it's not in the Constitution, those powers are reserved for the states. It doesn't say how to set up schools. That power is left up to the states. Okay? Now, last up, if you were to create a Bill of Rights for the 21st century, what rights would you include? You just did that when we started this. So again, hopefully this helps you out and gave you some additional things to help you out with the Bill of Rights. I'll leave you with this today because I'm ready to go. It's time for the track meet. You ready, Deontay? We're going to jump. We're going to take this on. We're bringing home the bling, the medals. We're going to do this. All right. See you all on Tuesday. Have a great Memorial Day weekend. I'll look forward to seeing you then. Hillier out. Oh, I'm gonna hurt my neck. Ow. I can't get